The sky was calm that night, the stars shining brightly above the quiet earth. Suddenly, a bright light appeared far away, moving fast toward the planet. People on the ground looked up, confused and scared. The light grew bigger and bigger until it became clear it was a spaceship falling from the sky. It was not like any aircraft humans had seen before. The ship was large, silver, and glowing with strange blue lines running over its surface. It crashed into a forest near a small town, shaking the ground and breaking trees everywhere. Emergency sirens soon filled the town. People ran outside, trying to see what had happened. Soldiers and police arrived quickly, setting up a perimeter around the crash site. They warned everyone to stay back because the ship might be dangerous or carry unknown life forms. Inside the wreckage, there was silence. Suddenly, the ship's main door opened slowly, revealing a tall figure standing inside. She wore a shining silver armor and had long flowing hair the color of the night sky. Her eyes glowed faintly purple. The figure was an alien princess, hurt but alive. Everyone was shocked. The soldiers raised their weapons, ready to fire if needed. But the princess did not attack. She looked at them with a calm but serious face. Her voice was soft but strong when she spoke in perfect English. "I come in peace. My ship was attacked. I need help." The commander of the soldiers was unsure. How could this stranger be trusted? Who had attacked her and why? The princess's story was a mystery that no one understood yet. In the crowd, a young man named Daniel watched carefully. He was different from the others. He was not afraid. Daniel was a scientist and had always believed that humans were not alone in the universe. When the soldiers hesitated, Daniel stepped forward. "We should listen to her," he said quietly but firmly. "She might have important information." The commander nodded slowly and lowered his weapon. Daniel took a deep breath and walked toward the princess's ship. The forest was quiet except for the sound of his footsteps on the broken branches. As Daniel reached the ship's entrance, the princess looked at him. There was something in her eyes, a silent call for help that only he seemed to understand. He stepped inside carefully. The inside of the ship was unlike anything Daniel had seen. It was filled with strange machines that hummed softly and walls covered in glowing symbols. The princess moved slowly toward a large chair in the center, where she sat and explained her story. Her name was Lyria, and she came from a distant planet ruled by an empire at war. Lyria said her people were fighting a powerful enemy who wanted to destroy her entire race. During a battle, her ship was hit and forced to land on Earth. She was on a secret mission to find allies, but now she was trapped far from home. Daniel listened, amazed by her courage and sadness. He promised to help her, even though he knew it would be dangerous. Together, they needed to find a way to warn Earth about the coming threat and protect both their worlds. Outside, the soldiers guarded the area closely. News about the alien princess spread fast, and the government started preparing for a possible invasion. But not everyone was afraid. Some wanted to learn more about the alien race and the technology she brought. Daniel and Lyria formed a quiet bond, working together to find answers. Little did they know that their meeting would change the future of Earth forever. The night grew deeper, and the stars kept shining as if watching the new story beginning. On Earth, a story of trust, war, and hope between two very different beings, one human and one alien. And the real battle was still to come. Asterisk. The morning sun rose slowly over the forest where the alien ship had crashed. The air was still thick with tension. Soldiers kept watch while scientists and government officials arrived to study the strange craft. Inside the ship, Daniel and Princess Lyria worked together to understand her technology and plan their next steps. Lyria's wounds were healing, but her heart remained heavy with worry. She knew her people's enemy would not stop until she was found and stopped on Earth. Lyria explained the enemy was called the Varkos, a ruthless alien race who believed in conquering every world. The Varkos ships were fast and deadly, armed with weapons that could destroy whole cities. Lyria's mission was to find new allies who could help defend her home planet. Earth was unknown to her people, but she sensed it might have the strength to stand against the Varkos. Daniel listened closely, amazed at the vastness of the galaxy and the danger coming toward them. Daniel showed Lyria the Earth's current defense systems. They were far from perfect, but humans had powerful weapons and strong will. Lyria felt hope rise inside her for the first time since the crash. Together, they started working out a way to communicate with Earth's leaders and prepare for what was coming. Daniel promised to protect her and the secret of her mission until they found a way to warn the world. Outside the ship, the townspeople were curious and afraid. Rumors spread quickly about the alien princess and her enemies. Some wanted to help, while others demanded she be locked away or sent back to space. Daniel spoke to the local mayor, explaining the urgency of their situation. The mayor agreed to keep the area safe and quiet, but warned Daniel it would not be easy to keep the secret for long. At night, Daniel and Lyria stood together under the stars. They shared stories about their worlds, their fears, and their hopes. Lyria talked about her people's culture, their love for peace, and the war that had shattered everything. Daniel told her about Earth's struggles and the small acts of kindness that made humans strong. Despite their differences, they found a deep connection that gave them courage to face the unknown. Suddenly, a low sound came from outside the ship. Sensors picked up strange signals approaching fast. The Varkos had found them. Panic tried to creep in, but Daniel stayed calm and urged Lyria to prepare the ship's defenses. The alien princess activated hidden shields and weapons, ready to defend the crash site. The battle was about to begin, and both knew it would change everything forever. Daniel fought beside Lyria, using his knowledge of Earth's technology and quick thinking to help hold the line. The Varkos attackers were fierce, but they were surprised by the humans' determination and Lyria's advanced technology. Shots fired in the night sky, and the forest shook from explosions. The small town watched in fear and hope as the alien princess and the human worked as one to protect their new home. After hours of fighting, the attackers retreated, leaving the crash site badly damaged but safe for now. Lyria and Daniel knew this was only the start. The Varkos would come back, stronger and more prepared. They needed to warn the world, build alliances, and find a way to stop the war from reaching Earth cities. Together, they made a silent promise to fight for peace no matter the cost. The day after the attack, the forest was quiet again. The trees stood tall, though some branches were broken. The soldiers and scientists worked side by side to repair the damage. Daniel stayed close to Princess Lyria, who was still recovering from the fight. Her eyes held a mix of sadness and determination. She knew the battle was only the beginning of a long war that could reach Earth's surface and destroy everything. Lyria explained that the Varkos were not only fierce warriors, but also masters of stealth. Their ships could appear and disappear without warning, making them deadly opponents. They had spies hidden on many planets, including some on Earth. Lyria feared that the enemy might already have agents inside the government or military. Daniel listened carefully, understanding that trust would be the hardest thing to find in the coming days. Together, they decided the first step was to find out if the Varkos had spies on Earth. Daniel used his connections in the science community and government to start secret investigations. Lyria shared her knowledge of alien technology to help detect hidden communications and trackers. Their work was slow and careful because revealing too much could cause panic or worse, alert the enemy. They moved quietly, hoping to catch the Varkos before it was too late. At the same time, Lyria's presence on Earth became harder to keep secret. News of the alien princess had leaked online, causing a mixture of fear and fascination. Some people called her a savior. Others called her a threat. Protesters gathered near the crash site, demanding answers and safety. Daniel and Lyria faced the challenge of convincing the public that they must prepare for war, not fight among themselves. The fragile peace on Earth felt like it could break at any moment. One evening, as the sun set, Daniel received a coded message from one of his trusted allies. It warned of unusual activity in a nearby city, a group believed to be Varco's agents preparing for an attack. Daniel rushed to tell Lyria, who immediately gathered her small team of trusted humans and aliens. They knew they had to stop the Varcos before they could strike. The tension in the air was thick as they planned their move carefully. The team moved through the city's dark streets, avoiding cameras and patrols. Lyria's alien senses helped detect hidden traps and signals. Daniel's knowledge of Earth's systems allowed them to hack security doors and alarms. They finally found a secret base where the Varco's agents were gathering weapons and data. A quick but fierce battle broke out. The humans and aliens fought side by side, using every skill they had learned so far. When the fight ended, the Varco's agents were captured or fled into the night. Back at the crash site, Daniel and Lyria worked to analyze the data they had recovered. It showed plans for a larger invasion, with ships set to arrive soon. The Varcos wanted to take Earth by surprise and destroy its defenses before humans could react. Lyria knew that time was running out. She and Daniel began sending secret messages to Earth's governments, urging them to unite against the common enemy. It was a difficult task because many leaders still doubted the alien princess's story and intentions. Despite the pressure, Daniel and Lyria found strength in their growing friendship. They spent late nights discussing strategies and sharing stories of their past. Lyria told Daniel about her family and the empire she came from. Daniel spoke about his life on Earth and the hopes he held for humanity. Their bond gave them hope that even in the darkest times, trust and cooperation could light the way forward. As weeks passed, more signs of the Varco's invasion appeared. Ships were spotted in the outer atmosphere, and strange signals interfered with Earth's communications. The world began to realize the danger was real. Daniel and Lyria stood before a gathering of Earth's top leaders, presenting the truth of the alien threat and the need for unity. The room was filled with tension and doubt, but slowly, some leaders began to see the truth. It was the first step toward an alliance that could save both Earth and Lyria's home. The future was uncertain, and the road ahead was filled with danger. But with courage, trust, and determination, Daniel and Lyria prepared to face the coming storm together. The fate of two worlds depended on their strength and will. The early morning fog settled over the damaged forest like a soft blanket. Crash site was quiet, but the air was filled with a heavy tension. Soldiers, scientists, and officials moved carefully around the area, repairing what they could and setting up new defenses. Daniel stood near the alien ship, watching Princess Lyria examine the strange technology around her. Despite her injuries, her eyes burned with determination. They both knew the coming days would test their courage and resolve like never before. Lyria shared more of her people's history with Daniel, explaining the long war that had torn her empire apart. The Varcos had once been peaceful, but greed and hunger for power had changed them into merciless conquerors. Many planets had fallen before their armies, and Lyria was one of the last hopes to stop them. Daniel felt a growing weight on his shoulders, as he realized Earth was now part of this cosmic battle. He vowed to stand by her side, no matter the cost. At a secret meeting with Earth's leaders, Daniel and Lyria explained the urgency of the threat. Some officials were skeptical, unable to accept the reality of an alien invasion. Others feared the political chaos that could follow such news. Still, a few listened closely and agreed to prepare for the worst. The tension between trust and fear in the room was thick. Lyria's calm but powerful voice helped break through the doubts, urging unity and strength against the enemy that threatened all life. Meanwhile, underground groups loyal to the Varkos, moved quietly across the planet. They spread lies and fear, trying to turn people against each other. Daniel and Lyria worked with trusted allies to uncover these saboteurs. It was a dangerous game of shadows, where one wrong step could mean disaster. The closer the enemy came to Earth's cities, the more the team knew they had to act fast and smart. The battle was no longer only in the stars, but had reached Earth's very streets. In the alien ship's command room, Lyria and Daniel studied star maps and communication logs. They traced the path of the Varkos fleet heading toward Earth. The ships were massive, capable of destruction on a scale never seen before. Lyria's people had powerful weapons too, but their numbers were few. The hope lay in Earth's unity and technology. Together, they designed a plan to combine their forces and defend both worlds. The plan required trust, courage, and sacrifice. One evening, while preparing for a training exercise, Daniel noticed Lyria's hand tremble slightly. The weight of responsibility was heavy on her. He reached out and gently took her hand, offering silent support. In that moment, two strangers from different worlds found comfort in each other's strength. Their connection grew deeper as they faced the unknown together. It was a reminder that even in the darkest times, hope could be found in friendship. News came that a Varkos spy ring had been uncovered near a major city. The team acted quickly to capture the agents and prevent sabotage. The victory was small, but important. It showed that Earth was not alone and could fight back. Daniel and Lyria used this moment to rally support and encourage people to believe in the fight ahead. The road was long, but with every small success, the bond between human and alien grew stronger. As night fell, the stars above seemed to shine a little brighter. Daniel and Lyria stood side by side, looking up at the vast sky. They knew the battle was far from over, but they also knew they were no longer alone. Together, they would face the coming storm and protect their new home. The fate of two worlds rested on their shoulders, but their hearts were filled with hope and determination. The dawn broke quietly over the small town near the crash site. The air was cool and fresh, but tension hung thick among the people. Daniel and Lyria were busy preparing for the challenges ahead. Their team had grown, now including brave humans and loyal aliens. Every day brought new discoveries and threats. But the bond between them grew stronger with each passing hour. Lyria's knowledge of alien technology proved invaluable. She helped Earth's engineers improve their defenses and create new weapons. Daniel shared human strategies and experience, blending two worlds into one fighting force. They worked day and night, knowing that the enemy was already moving closer. Trust and cooperation became their greatest weapons against the coming storm. It was clear that only by standing together could they hope to survive. As news spread of the preparations, reactions varied. Some people embraced the alliance and offered help. Others were fearful and resisted change. Protests and debates filled the streets and media. Daniel and Lyria understood these fears but urged patience and unity. They knew that the real enemy was the Varkos, not each other. Their message was simple: fight the war together or fall divided. The future of Earth depended on this choice. One night, a secret meeting was held in a hidden bunker. Leaders from around the world joined Daniel and Lyria to discuss the final plans. Maps and data covered the tables, showing the enemy's approach and possible targets. The room was tense but determined. Everyone knew that the battle to come would decide the fate of millions. Lyria spoke with passion and hope, reminding them of the strength found in unity. The leaders agreed to send forces to key locations and support the defense with all they had. Meanwhile, scouts reported strange movements near a remote outpost. Daniel and Lyria led a small team to investigate. They discovered a group of Varkos, soldiers preparing an ambush. The team fought fiercely, using new weapons and tactics learned from each other. The battle was brutal, but successful. The Varkos retreated, leaving behind valuable intelligence. This victory boosted the morale of the defenders and proved that Earth's forces could fight back. The alliance was no longer just a hope but a reality. Back at the base, Daniel and Lyria studied the captured data. It revealed the location of the Varkos' main fleet and their planned invasion routes. The information was critical for Earth's defense systems. Plans were made to strengthen shields and prepare emergency evacuations. The weight of responsibility pressed on everyone's shoulders, but they faced it with courage. Daniel and Lyria shared a quiet moment, knowing their fight was not only for survival but for the future of both their peoples. As the days passed, training intensified. Humans and aliens worked together, sharing skills and learning from each other. Friendships blossomed despite differences. Lyria grew closer to Daniel, their bond becoming a symbol of hope and peace. They stood together, ready to face whatever the Varkos would throw at them. The world watched, some with fear, others with faith. But all knew that the coming battle would change history forever. The stars above Earth twinkled like distant promises. Daniel and Lyria looked to the sky, feeling the weight of the universe on their shoulders. The war was near, but their hearts were strong. Together, they would fight for their home, their people, and the hope that light could overcome darkness. The story of two worlds was just beginning, and its ending depended on the courage found in unity. The sky was dark and heavy, with clouds as the preparations for battle reached their peak. Earth's cities buzzed with activity. Soldiers drilled in the streets. Engineers worked day and night to strengthen defenses. Daniel and Lyria coordinated efforts from the command center inside the alien ship. Every detail was checked and rechecked. The tension was high, but so was the hope that they could face the coming storm together. Lyria spent long hours training new recruits in alien technology and tactics. Daniel focused on uniting human commanders and diplomats. Their teamwork was a symbol of the alliance growing stronger every day. Despite the pressure, moments of laughter and friendship still found their way through the hard work. It was clear that this was more than just a war. It was a chance for two very different peoples to build something new. Their hope became the foundation of their strength. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the command center. Sensors detected a large fleet approaching fast. The Varkos had arrived. Daniel and Lyria moved quickly, issuing orders to all defense forces. Ships scrambled into formation, and weapon systems powered up. The moment they had prepared for was here. Outside, the sky lit up with the glow of hundreds of starships. The battle to protect Earth and the galaxy was about to begin. Explosions rocked the atmosphere as the two forces clashed. The sound of energy weapons and engines filled the air. Daniel piloted a fighter, leading a squadron against the enemy. Lyria used her advanced knowledge to coordinate defense systems and counterattacks. The fight was fierce and chaotic, with lives lost on both sides. But the alliance held firm. Humans and aliens fought as one, determined to protect their homes and futures. As the battle raged, a critical moment came when a Varkos flagship broke through the defenses. It targeted the command center. Lyria and Daniel knew they had to act fast. Using a combination of alien technology and human bravery, they launched a desperate mission to stop the ship. They flew side by side into the heart of the enemy fleet, risking everything to protect those they loved. Their courage inspired others to fight harder. The flagship exploded in a brilliant flash, turning the tide of the battle. The Varkos forces began to retreat, their numbers dwindling. Cheers rose from the defenders as the enemy withdrew into space. But Daniel and Lyria knew this victory was only the beginning. The war would continue, but now Earth was no longer alone or afraid. Together, they had shown the power of unity and hope. After the battle, Daniel and Lyria stood on a hill overlooking the city lights. The stars shone brightly above, as if celebrating the new bond between their worlds. They spoke quietly about the future they wanted to build, one without war and full of peace. Their journey was far from over, but their hearts were stronger than ever. The story of the alien princess and the human had become a legend, a beacon of hope for all. The calm before the storm was broken by distant rumbling in the skies. Reports came in of strange ships entering Earth's atmosphere. Daniel and Lyria stood side by side in the command center, watching the radar screens light up with the approaching fleet. The Varkos had returned, larger and more prepared than before. The Alliance had little time to react. Every second counted as the fate of two worlds hung in the balance. Lyria activated the ship's advanced defense systems, while Daniel coordinated Earth's military forces. Pilots and soldiers prepared for battle with steady hands and determined hearts. Despite the fear, there was a sense of unity and hope that had never existed before. Humans and aliens fought together as one, using every skill and weapon at their disposal. The sky became a battlefield of flashing lights and roaring engines. The first wave of Varkos ships descended rapidly, unleashing devastating energy blasts. Earth's defenses held strong but strained under the assault. Daniel led a squadron of fighters in a daring counterattack, weaving through enemy fire to strike critical targets. Lyria worked tirelessly to support ground defenses with shield enhancements and strategic data. The fight was brutal and unforgiving, testing every member of the Alliance to their limits. Suddenly, an enemy superweapon activated, threatening to destroy a major city. Panic surged among the defenders, but Daniel and Lyria did not waver. They devised a bold plan to disable the weapon using a combination of alien technology and human courage. Together, they led a small team on a dangerous mission to infiltrate the Varkos fleet and sabotage the device. Their success or failure would decide the battle's outcome. Inside the enemy flagship, the team faced fierce resistance. The corridors were filled with hostile guards and traps. Lyria's combat skills and Daniel's quick thinking helped them navigate the dangers. After intense fighting, they reached the superweapon's core and disabled it just moments before it could fire. The destruction it would have caused was stopped. Their bravery turned the tide of the war and gave hope to the defenders. As the Varkos forces faltered, Earth's armies pressed their advantage. The enemy ships began to retreat, leaving behind damaged vessels and defeated soldiers. Cheers erupted among the Alliance forces as victory seemed within reach. But Daniel and Lyria knew that peace would require more than winning battles. It would need trust, understanding, and the will to build a new future together. After the battle, Daniel and Lyria addressed the world, calling for unity and cooperation among all peoples. Their message was clear. Only together could they protect their home and create lasting peace. The alien princes and the human had become symbols of hope and courage. Their story inspired millions across the galaxy. The war was not over, but the bond between their worlds was stronger than ever before. The stars above shone brightly, witnessing a new era of friendship and alliance. Daniel and Lyria looked toward the future with hope in their hearts. The fight for survival had brought two worlds together. Now they would work side by side to build a better tomorrow. Their journey was a testament to the power of trust and the strength found in unity. The cold night air was filled with quiet determination as Earth's forces prepared for the final confrontation. Daniel and Lyria stood together in the command center, reviewing plans and encouraging their allies. They knew this battle would decide the fate of both their worlds. Every soldier, pilot, and technician understood the stakes. The time had come to face the Varkos once and for all. The alien princess activated the ship's communication system, sending a message to all allied forces. She spoke of hope, courage, and the power of unity. Her words echoed through the fleets and armies gathered across Earth and beyond. Daniel added his voice, reminding everyone of the strength they shared. Their combined spirit lifted the morale of every fighter ready to stand against the enemy. The alliance was no longer just a strategy but a family. As dawn broke, the enemy fleet appeared on the horizon. The Varkos came with overwhelming numbers and fierce weapons. Earth's defenses shone brightly, powered by alien technology and human ingenuity. The sky was alive with the sounds of battle, the roar of engines, the flash of energy weapons, and the steady commands of leaders coordinating the fight. Daniel piloted his craft with precision, while Lyria directed shield systems to protect key targets. The battle was fierce and unrelenting. Midway through the conflict, a critical moment arose when a Varkos dreadnought threatened to break through the defense line. Daniel and Lyria led a daring mission to intercept the massive ship. Flying close and using every weapon available, they targeted its weak points. The fight was intense and dangerous, pushing both to their limits. Their bravery inspired the rest of the forces to push harder. Finally, the dreadnought was disabled and forced to retreat. The tide of the battle began to turn as the Varkos fleet faltered. Earth's forces advanced, reclaiming lost ground and disabling enemy vessels. Cheers rang out from the command center as victory seemed near. But Daniel and Lyria knew this was only the beginning of a new journey. Peace would require rebuilding, forgiveness, and continued vigilance. The war had changed everyone, but it had also brought them closer together. After the battle, leaders from Earth and Lyria's people met to form a council for the galaxy's future. Daniel and Lyria stood at the center, symbols of hope and unity. Together, they worked to create laws and alliances that would protect all life from future threats. Their story became a legend told across planets, reminding everyone that trust and courage could overcome even the darkest times. The galaxy was no longer divided but connected. In the quiet moments after the storm, Daniel and Lyria looked up at the stars. They spoke of dreams and plans, of a future where their peoples would live in harmony. Their bond had grown stronger than anyone had imagined possible. They knew challenges would come, but they faced them with hope. The story of the alien princess and the human was just beginning, a tale of friendship that would echo through the ages. The sky above was calm and bright, a symbol of peace earned through sacrifice and unity. Daniel and Lyria stood together, ready to face whatever came next. Their worlds were forever changed, but their hearts were united. The future belonged to those who believed in each other. And they believed